Hi, hello everyone. Hello. Hi, my name is Taeyeon. Thank you for having me today. I supposed to present it in Korean, providing English pre-recorded presentation, but I switched my language in a very last minute because majority of the audience are English speakers. So today, I'd like to speak about the importance of intention and its powerful impact on the future we are aiming to build through the power of Web3. To do so, I'm going to share a piece of who I am and my own intention. This is all to aspire for a more diverse and inclusive future for Web3. It's not working. All right. Okay, I'm probably the one of the few speakers talking about social impact and public goods during the entire Korean blockchain week. It is such a great honor for me to speak about this topic on behalf of many builders and warriors in the social impact sector. Thanks to Erica and ETH Seoul organizers to provide me the opportunity and accommodate diversity, which is also the main topic of my presentation today. Let's start it. I believe everyone here has a different intention. It drives one to think and act in their own unique way. Everyone here has an idea of what blockchain's future can look like and what we want to achieve through blockchain. Because it is open source, the future can be anything we dream it to be. Some people may want to build their own kingdom. Others may want to realize their utopian society. Some just want to realize their unique technological innovations and win recognition through their work. And I don't blame you if your intention is just make a lot of money. But let us pause to further reflect this vastly important question. What is your intention? If you can answer this question right away, you are free to leave. But if you can't, then let's go over a few relevant questions that might give you some clues. First, what brought you into the blockchain space in the first place? Second, which attributes of blockchain attract you? Lastly, it is very important question. What are you trying to achieve through blockchain? I hope this conversation will inspire you all and give you some insight to figure out your intention by the end of this presentation. Before coming to this stage, I also spent quite a long time thinking about my own intention. Honestly, it was not an easy process for me. Over the past 10 years, my relationship with blockchain is similar to the one with an ex-boyfriend. It's a combination of love and hatred, and mostly frustration. After going through the many ups and downs for the past decade, I tend to forget how I fell in love with blockchain and why am I still sticking with it. But the footprint of my past year gave me some clues. These are the two these are the two keywords that have been guiding my life with blockchain. The first one is breaking down language barriers. And the second is empowering underserved communities. These two keywords are the main topics of two following chapters. Let's begin with how I started breaking down language barriers. I remember the exact day when I fell down the rabbit hole. It's been such a long ago. It was almost like 10 years ago for me. So on my 23rd birthday in November 2012, one of my revolutionary friends from Berlin sent me 1 Bitcoin as a birthday gift. He said, Taeyeon, this is the future. You should really dig into it. Otherwise, you will miss out. His passion was so convincing that I couldn't help but jump down the rabbit hole without hesitation. Probably many of you here sitting remember a time when Ethereum didn't exist, and even when the term blockchain was not commonly used. Back in the early 2010s, only Bitcoin and some coins like color coin that fade into the history were silently experimented by some people, such as cyberpunk, revolutionaries, anarchists, and technophiles. So the day after my birthday, I started to looking into Bitcoin, but back then there were very few results found in Korean search engines. Bitcoin was just going through its beginning phase, and there were not many resources written in Korean. Back then, my English was not sufficiently good to understand the English content. It took me quite a long time to grasp what Bitcoin is and why this is the future. Moreover, there were no YouTube videos or educational content like there is today, so I started at square one, translating English news article into Korean to educate myself. And soon after, I started falling in love with this magical technology and needed to share this secret with everyone. Now to the question. Which attribute of blockchain was I attracted to? Individual empowerment. It doesn't matter where you're from, which language you're speaking, or your gender, race, and educational background. I believe blockchain will lead everyone to stand up and shout out for their individual rights, which has been oppressed by the centralized system for as long as we can remember. I was very excited to talk about blockchain with other people and discuss about how the future could change. However, there were also other Korean people who were interested to learn about blockchain, but the language barrier discouraged them to go deeper down the rabbit hole with me. So I started sharing the translated content with early crypto communities like Tango, and also created my own blog, CoinClip. I spent the next 4 years translating daily blockchain updates in Korean language to share with a wider audience in Korean. It was one of the first blockchain media resources in Korea at the time. Well, even today, I'm struggling with my language barrier, especially when I read technical paper, I just copy and paste in Google Translator. Even after many years of living abroad and working with the organizations, like international one, but I'm still nervous to give a talk in English. I'm sure many of us here have similar challenges if you're not from English-speaking countries or English is not your native language. Language barriers are one of the main causes of the information divide, and it is the major constraint of regional diversity and their limited involvement. So I made a mission for myself to break down language barriers around the world. Four years ago, I joined the Ethereum Foundation, and the first thing I did was initiating the Ethereum.org translation program. Maybe some of you have joined or have heard of it, but for those who haven't, I'm going to briefly introduce this program. The Ethereum.org translation program is a community-driven effort with over 3,700 volunteers from all around the world. It began as a pilot project supporting only 7 major languages. However, soon after we started, people around the world began asking to join the program and volunteer to translate in their mother tongue. After launch 3 years ago, we are officially supporting 46 languages on the website, including minority ones and regional dialects. As you can see in the graph, over the 3 years, there is a growing amount of traffic occurring from the regional subdomains of Ethereum.org. Thanks to all the contributors, now anyone can learn about Ethereum in their mother tongue without the hassle of language barriers. Not only that, we are proud to see how this program represents diverse local communities within the ecosystem. Supporting minority languages such as Ukrainian and Catalan can uplift their unique cultural identities and help claim their autonomy in their international society. Personally, this program means a lot to me. Over 3,700 people have volunteered their time and energy pro bono to help others with similar struggles. The intention of their action was not for any expectation to get return, but instead to use their collective goodwill to lower the entry level into Ethereum for people from all around the world. To be honest, this program has restored my confidence in people's inner goodwill and has shown me the mountains can be moved when we work together to benefit one another. Okay, we're gonna close chapter 1. We've learned why language barrier matters, because it constrains regional diversity and their involvement. And most importantly, we learn how collective impact can break down barriers. In chapter 2, I'm going to talk about empowering underserved communities. I have another question for the crowd. Raise your hand if you went to NFT NIC. Oh, hi. Only one, really? Great. I was there a couple of weeks ago myself. Honestly, yeah, it's like with filter and all that. So, honestly, I've been skeptical about NFT for many years, so I almost skipped it. However, thanks to dear friend, just the only one sitting there, who brainwashed me for a long time. Well, yeah, like she actually encouraged me to get out of my comfort zone to explore out the NFT's potential and the value of it. So I finally get my first NFT ever to attend one of the events. It cost me thousands of dollars for a cute JPEG, but I wanted to attach it here somewhere, but no shilling today. Although it was a very expensive learning course, it converted my skepticism into optimism. I was convinced of its potential by the positive vibe and freedom expressed by the enthusiastic NFT holders. However, separate from it, I also saw misery in the New York City. The economic situation there seems to be worse than ever before. A local friend of mine told me that due to the pandemic, a lot of people lost their job, shops are closed, and there has been an increased amount of homeless people on the street who may beg for change to survive every single day. I saw a clear economic distinction. Although we were spending thousands of dollars enjoying our crypto transaction at the NFT parties, unfortunately, not a single penny goes to help people in need. Another aspect of this is we're now living in a cashless society, so less and less people bring cash in their wallet anymore. This led to fewer donations being made for people in poverty. There are some talks in the community that we should begin donating or gifting Ether by QR code, But again, not everyone in the lower classes can afford mobile phone or have basic internet infrastructure, which has become a foundation for ordinary people like us. After witnessing the huge gap between NFT millionaires and homeless people on the street, I felt dismayed. Even though I work hard to change the world into a better place for Web3, the benefit of it may not reach far enough to aid underserved communities. I began worrying about the future we are building today. I wonder if we will ever narrow the gap, or if our work will only widen the inequality gap ingrained in our society. We'll say blockchain is open source. It is supposed to mean anyone can build and realize their dream no matter what it is. But still, many people feel blockchain is not for them because they perceive it as a privileged technology for the haves, and they may consider themselves the have-nots. So how can we onboard more diverse individuals to feel comfortable being part of this new technological era? Recently, I was helping the DevCon team to review the speaker applications. There are many experiments ongoing to narrow the gap in emerging countries. Most frequently mentioned words are refi, climate change, emission trading, and financial inclusion. Personally, I'm very thrilled to see more diverse projects making changes with Ethereum in the world. Especially, I truly believe that financial inclusion is one of the areas where blockchain could make a fundamental impact in the world. The unbanked are approximately 24 to 29% of the world population, which is nearly 2 billion individuals according to the World Bank report. Our work can help diversify the economic power for these underserved communities, but if only that is our intention with our work. I'm going to close this chapter by introducing one of my favorite projects, which is Grassroots Economy. This Kenya-based non-profit organization has been experimenting with community currency since 2012. It started with a voucher system that allows local communities to trade and purchase goods and foods in their local markets. Now they are building a community inclusion currency on Ethereum. I'm going to show you the short video clip of introducing what the community inclusion currency is. So you can forget all the presentation that I made, but I wish you could understand and remember this project, please. Sorry for that. So basically, this Kenya project is supporting. It started with Will Roderick,
food,
which is
medicine,
like
or
the
school fees.
Economist in
Why
my
do
dear
economic
friend
downturns and
that,
crises have such a devastating
he has been
effect on local
helping a lot of
markets?
Kenya people with
Each one
the
of Songa's
unbanked
members has something
Kenya
important to offer that
local
other members
people.
of the community
Usually
won't
the
tend to
Kenya
use.
currency is devaluated when the economic crisis comes.
Nurses,
So they have
cooks,
no currency
teachers,
or the
tailors,
voucher to
shopkeepers,
trade their goods.
carpenters, and
Although
so
they
on.
have
During a
like
crisis,
things to
each
share
of
with
these
neighbors,
still
but
has goods
it's
and
almost
services to offer
impossible with
each other.
their current
Yet they
currency.
don't have the money
So
to purchase
they
from each
have
other.
been
There is a new
experimenting with
solution
like
called
paper
community
voucher, like
inclusion
printing
currencies.
out their
Songa
voucher
joined a
to
network of
be
farmers,
used in
teachers,
their
and small
local
businesses
markets. so everyone
trying to
can
create a stable
use it and
marketplace
like
by
trade
trading
goods
their
and
goods
foods
and
and
services
everything.
amongst
And
themselves.
then,
The network pools
yeah,
their
they've
resources,
been
as well as donor
discovering
assistance from cash
the
and voucher
potential of
assistance
Ethereum,
programs
and
into
they
a
are trying to
community
implement
fund.
Ethereum
This
technology
fund
into
is
their voucher
leveraged to
system
create
so
and
that
back digital
everyone
community
can see
inclusion
like
currency
which
credits.
transaction is made and how much they paid and everything. And also the international organizations like Red Cross and
Sangha receives
United Nations,
community
they
inclusion
can track
currency
down
credits
all the
and shares
records
with the
like
community
which
fund.
is like most used
Now,
and
she can
which
meet
is
her
needed.
basic needs by
Yeah.
trading them with other community
Yeah,
members
gladly,
using
like
her
Kenya
simple
people
phone.
have like
Community
very simple
inclusion
picture
currencies
phone
are
so that they
securely and
can like
transparently
text it
created on the
out
blockchain
and
backed
receive
by
the
community
message
goods
like
and
when the
services,
transaction
as well
is
as national
made.
currency to increase the amount of locally available credit. Trisha's food for her family from a local farmer. The farmer can now pay a
28쪽이에요? Let's close chapter 2. I'm sorry for the technical issue, but I hope my explanation is like enough to understand how valuable this project is. Now we have discussed the importance of financial inclusion with blockchain can make a global impact. I have shown you, well, technically not shown, but explain you a real use case of blockchain that is changing thousands of people's lives in Kenya. For me, 10 years have passed since I joined this industry. The entire scene has changed quite radically compared to the past. Now we can learn blockchain through YouTube, and like there is enormous resources like Blockchain 101 and all the educational contents. I'm sure everyone can agree that blockchain has been adopted by the mainstream. However, are we close to mass adoption? Is the future that blockchain was founded upon getting any closer? The future of Web3 is dependent on making this space accessible to the masses. The language barrier and the exclusion of underserved communities are a few examples of numerous restrictions. There are also UX UI issues, lack of educations and job opportunities, and as well as the absence of basic infrastructure such as mobile phone or even internet accessibility. There are still many more challenges we need to overcome in order to embrace more diversity and inclusion in Web3. Why does it matter? Because lack of diversity is not only constricting our ecosystem, but also narrowing the abundance of future possibilities that could change the world into a better place. Before finishing my presentation, I'd like to ask you the same question one more time. What is your intention? What are you trying to achieve through blockchain? I wish every one of us here would take this question seriously. And I hope that my intention of this presentation has convinced others to care more about diversity and inclusion in the future we are building together. Remember, with collective goodwill, we can make any future that we desire. Thank you for your time.